Hello, welcome to the Reframing Mindset podcast. We are clear my head of the thoughts that are preventing clarity and practice my speech, among other things. Episodes range from informative knowledge to funny stories about my experiences, and in the future, maybe include interviews. So subscribe and enjoy. Episodes drop every other day. All right, so welcome Sevaughn McIntosh to the Reframing Mindset podcast. So before we get into it, let's just mention some things the great Sevaughn is known for. Mhm.
Sure,
So
man.
he's a UE Mona Guild advisor, VP
Mm-hmm.
UE alumni. You're a part of the VP, Vice President of the UE Alumni Association,
Mm-hmm.
and MA. What is that? MA Higher Ed.
Masters of Arts.
In what management. So these are
Yeah, higher
what
education and management. Mm-hmm.
all right, cool. All right. A Cornwallian, and I fill up Prestonite and my super senior my first year that I came in onto Preston. And the deputy hard chairman the year I become the domestic affairs chairman. So, with all of that, welcome to the Reframe Mindset podcast. How are you doing today?
As good as I can possibly be. There's life, so I'm good.
All right.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. All right. So let's get into the interviews. So you were one of my super senior when my first year, and that's how we met. But before then, I wasn't on Preston and didn't know you then. So tell us about who was Seven before Preston, family life, primary school days, Cornwall days, and eventual decision to go to the University of the West Indies.
Um. Well, for me, I started school very, very early. Um, because my parents never had anybody to make me stay with, so I ended up starting too early. So most of my life, pretty much, I've been in school. Then I think I attended a two basic school or three. I don't remember. Um, and then I go to Colonel Avenue for primary school, and then I passed to Cornwall. So for Cornwall, well,
Yeah.
most of the time I did track and well, I did track at primary school, but at Cornwall me do little track in a lower school, but we did stuff after a while because my mother said that it wasn't the right space for me to be in. So I decided to stick to the academics and the leadership stuff and do like a creative thing here and there until it was time to decide which university to go to. But I can say that was a difficult decision because I was thinking about flying out and go to Canada to do medicine. To look
Mhm.
in a med school, got in to the school in Canada, but I mean, I felt like the better decision was to stay in Jamaica at that point in time, given all the things the variables that were at play. And so I started UE right after sixth form. I did a sixth form after leaving Cornwall. I
Uh,
went into SciTech, and that's where I started UE.
all right. So, how did you ended up choosing Preston as a place to have?
Funny enough, when I used to do a lot of performing in my early years, before coming to Cornwall, and one summer when we were performing it was Jamaica 50th Independence celebration. We stayed on Preston. I mean, I said, no, so the place is nice, man. Me, I walk come here and say, me never know, say, you did have resort. So me, I walk come here and say, oh, the place look so good. So me, they walk on campus, and not even, because they allowed us to walk about the campus. So we're walking there and they go to KFC and we're looking and they say, oh, the place here nice still.
Yeah.
And then I decided to, and then I knew, and then eventually I found out that I knew people who lived on it. I found out it's an actual hall of residence. I mean,
Yes.
because I thought you had to be rich, rich, rich to be living to a place like this. And then I applied for it. I applied for every hall on campus. I found a way to, and I got accepted to all the halls that I had applied for, all of them, every last one of them. But I was so determined that I'm not going nowhere else but Preston. I sit down there, I sit down on my yard, orientation and start. I will sit down and say, wait, so I called, what's her name again? Miss Andrews. And I said to Miss Andrews, how me not get no accept, no me not get no call letter. I mean, no see me when I most qualified, them qualified first year, so if you go to Preston.
Mm.
And me said to Miss Andrews, me call her back because she never give, she said she go check it out. I call her back and Miss Andrews say, I said to Miss Andrews that, I get accepted to every other hall, but I decided the hall me a wait pan for accept me. Then she said, give me a few minutes and I'll call her back. She called me back that same day and say, are you packed? And I say, of course, me packed already. I want me a wait pan. And she said, come down the next morning. And lo and behold, next morning I was on Preston. And
Uh,
that's how we end up go there.
so, what were your personal and your days like before you became super senior for my year group? What all events you participated in, and eventually why did you decide to join, and how you got on the orientation committee? I can talk
Well,
about like the school part as well. You know.
okay. So as I say, I started in tech. Started in tech. So, but when I came here, I was very shy, despite being a performer and all the little things there. Very very shy. So I was locked up in my room. My roommate was a med student, and the cluster rep lived right across from me on the top floor. So the cluster rep come into the room one day and sit down and ask why me so withdrawn from the cluster. I say pretty much homesick. Um, and I'm you didn't because Mr. Shy, I not necessarily want go, I wasn't willing to go out and know everybody. Same
Mm,
start progressively introduce me to everybody, and then the competition them start rolling, and then a little bit after that, the cluster they call it when the cluster committees. I know you have to give like a presentation, and some end up start getting. I became peace representative in that year,
mm,
and that started my whole interaction. Because when you're a peace rep, you have to wake up to flag raising and all them little sitting there and then wake up in the early morning, help coordinate the competition them with I lived on Los Mat as a matter of fact in first year, Los Matadores.
yeah.
So we did all of that and integrate me into the process. First year in terms of school was good. Because my intention was to do med school. So I was prepping for that as well to use first year in a SciTech to go into med school. Which eventually
Mm,
happened. I got into the program, but I would have ended up going to WJC.
yeah.
But I decided, I told my mother that I wanted to get the doctor some other way. So I'll work I'll sort out somewhere else and, and get the doctorate, but I'm not going to WJC. So we do all of that. Funny enough, I don't know if you know, if you're supposed to know, my name again? The hall chair right after that was academic. Osema Bell Navis.
Yeah. Do I
Yes,
live on
so
I
him,
night? I
yeah,
live
live
on
on
that.
and then Marlon Gregory right after him. But Jose Marbel Nevis was one of them who mentored me in first year and get me tell me that I had a lot of potential actually. And in my first year, I became one of them a junior coordinator in peace for speech. And that was the year when Preston they started the speech competition on Sequel as well. And I directed this up and Preston win the intramural speech competition. And that put my name out there as a viable candidate for orientation committee.
Yeah.
And I was a bit skeptical about applying for it, but I don't think I never went through the full process. In terms of my interview wasn't too long because they had already decided that they wanted me on the team, and that's
Mm,
how we start. On my first orientation. We started processes with Osemar them, and it was a bit nerve wracking. You just watch and then try and learn and all the little something there, and most of it was made up of first years. You have people like Virus, that are Jason Bacon, all these different people. Jeremy James, a Superman, everybody. So it was a top notch orientation committee. You know, you step out in your purple and white and all them something there. Yes. Yeah, them give you the whole ropes. Um,
Yeah.
and I did orientation year after year after year after year. There was not one year I was on president that I was not on the orientation committee.
All right.
So yeah, and that went right up until I decided to run for peace. Not peace, deputy hall chair, because I always ended up overseeing the speech category, which Preston either won or came or at least second.
Yeah.
So yeah. But where's me
Yeah.
supposed to
So,
answer?
mm?
Where's me supposed to answer?
ah, well, they kind of reach up. So, Kyle asked what is how you got onto the orientation committee. So, the next question is, how was being a super senior my year? And the other part was, did you become a super senior before my year? And how was each year you became a super senior, respectively?
It became harder and harder each time. As in, it was easier for me, but it became harder and harder because of the difference. As in, you're now seen as a returning member, so a lot of responsibilities placed on you. So you know the history, you know things go on. So you're always leading the teams or leading the chants or leading this, leading that. And then after a while, like instead of just leading the speech category, I became the director for freshers concert. So me
Yeah.
have to ensure say all the piece them top tier. And when I was introduced in that capacity was the year that Preston start won some when Ryan and all them, so well it was before that actually. When we started to win the overall concert, because it was always Rex used to give you a run for money, and we end up finding the formula and take back the rightful title, which was winners of freshers concert.
What did I do? For
uh
a year. For a year.
yeah, you won then we won it when I was deputy alchair to all them little something there. But it got to say it got harder and harder because a lot more responsibility were placed on you. And as I get older and older, I feel like the waking up early business just now work well with me. And after a while, you get grumpy as orientation, move on because you start trying to senior orientation.
Yeah.
I go to right into freshers orientation and them things say them think it easy, them the truth them don't know what the seniors them I go through. The freshers don't know what the seniors them I go through. But in terms of your year in particular, I can remember your year in particular when they were practicing the very things because naturally you've been to senior orientation. The same thing what the freshers them go through is a similar thing that we go through in a senior orientation. And we were wondering how it go translate to no. And then with the COVID that we are saying, no sir. The group are interesting, man. Very interesting. And then all of a sudden you stood out because you get a very unique name, Draco Malfoy. And the whole place, we start laughing about it because we are saying, what going on someone? Because we never knew half the name, half the thing. Because I think, I couldn't name you. My name, I want the name you?
Smoke,
I Smoker.
smoke and wall, man.
Yeah. Because I know Smoker was being trained to eventually become the Registrar General. Um, so
But then by the time I come out and next night, every man know my name. I say, oh,
yeah,
if I
it
don't
take
tell
off
me say
like
a
wildfire.
secret, yeah, but I say, oh, if I don't tell me say a secret, the thing be the one. We go on the whole
Mm.
play. I say, I can't have this. I don't want this.
And I never think I did just the name itself, I did a personality with it too. Because people, as in your start in the orientation, that is why them pick by you so much, for you do most of the certain of them, because your reaction to it and that's how you carry out it, it does hilarious to the seniors. Because most of the time, if you realize we did walk away, I never walk away because disrespectful now. I try control we laugh. So it is a walk and a laugh, but you were one of the few freshers them that make your orientation in particular fun. Because you can't take the process too serious, and some of them take it very very serious,
Yeah.
and we did not miss out on the excitement, and you just do what you need to do and move on. Simple.
Yeah, that's probably because something, before me come out to me, I have a coach, me I play. I have a coach, me ask for coach because him do then time they come out, we call it GC Foster College. I tell him I go to U and thing now, go for hard, I tell him about grubbing. I say, so Mark say, how do you going? So when I say, oh, I've got to do all kind of foolish and when man do this, I slap me in the chest. I say, Mirror, never, nobody can do that. I say, no,
It's crazy.
yeah, nobody can do that for you. If that guy don't say, we just done with it, yeah, man. So that was a
Yeah,
year.
man, because me did hear about it just the same when me come at UA, because apparently them used to say that our orientation was the roughest orientation back in the days. So I never knew how the orientation process would get modified. So when me come down here, me never have no tolerance to foolishness. And then no senior could talk to me at some point in time, at particular time, because we just unruly pretty much. So me did kind of an edge boat. What am I gonna do? Cause nobody now put their hand for me. You crazy?
Come
But me I tell you, it was a great process. Like me now, like still, if it's, me, I think people understand. You have to be a part of the process. So when you embrace it and
yeah,
just work
man.
with the senior, enjoy your orientation. Me I tell you, enjoy it.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man.
Mhm.
So, what was that year like for you?
Which year?
That year, my first year I come in, and what made you eventually decide to run for the deputy hall chairman? Because
Uh, that year was interesting. Because to me it was just I think Jeremy was hall chair, yes, and Magica did deputy hall chair, Anaki.
yeah,
And the year did just because I decided I was a deputy cluster rep. I was a deputy. No. I made a run off pass and all them something there in the year. So it was a very okay year for me in terms of participation. And after a while, but it was a good year in terms of because you guys were very active in terms of participation for first years that year in particular. And we were in peace because Odein, that a tremor was on peace as well. And
yeah.
so we did in there and over Olympia and Jeremy Hill and Syria and everybody in the room and them attack and them say, who go take over there? How we run the hall next year? And we are hear these barrage of names, like the twins them. Remember the twins them name? From it one from Italy. Remember the twins them?
Twins and five
One
Italian.
of them I did the treasurer at that point in time. Can't remember what
Oh,
them name.
Kamar Fisher. Oh, Kamar Fisher and
Kamar
William.
and the next one, yeah. Kadim and Kamar. Yeah. And them did and so them a throw around a lot of names and we said oh now on peace meeting. So Jeremy last them say one way around like a qualified fit, and then me start processing because I not think about it because I say I finally go for peace president because a long time I supposed to go for peace president me until a long time. And then we're going out in a on peace meeting and we are talk about it in there. Me mention it in there and then Odein say he was thinking about it because it was Odein, me and Smoker, the three away. So
Yeah,
it's either anyone of we going to go for peace president and the other two not go for like deputy and hall chair. But we never know how we gonna work out till we sit down one day, we talk about it and realistically we say, all right, Smoker go for peace president because he wanna look better. Yeah, the whole politics when it come on to hall chair and deputy,
yeah,
when I rough in the 15th for him. And it was down to which one are we wanna go for hall chair and deputy. I say, all right, because the nature how me stay. Make sense. Me go for deputy hall chair, make Odian go for hall chair.
yeah,
And we sit down we never even finalize it. And then we in a where name place name cafeteria.
yeah.
And so we did end up here. So like me I go run against like 5 to 6 people for deputy hall chair. I mean I say what do you want to help me as well? Then somebody go say, if you run against Sevaughn, you go lose still. So that the time there for me not even know what to expect because me never run. I've been a part of campaign teams, but me never run my own race before. So me I say, Jesus, me I have to go focus on all them financial something here and getting people to do this to that. Till two twos when me apply, me end up here so me uncontested and Odein uncontested and the two way. I will just have to do a speech. You wanna know say though? After we find out so we uncontested, the day of the debates, say me almost never go there.
Yeah.
Yeah, me nervous. Shrek, I come over my room and say, and them, of course, them, cause me have come here, me nervous until me don't know what to do with myself. And then You see from the back part of the cafeteria when you walk from Shamrock side there so.
Yeah,
As
yeah,
that's so the candidates they walk through. And all day, everybody still go there, they wait. So me dress and me go out there and me everybody just see. People always me know if I watch people them, sit down and so serious with them face like say you do them something the whole year
yeah.
and them ready
Me know,
for
man.
attack you with questions. So me I say, no, them same people that just encourage me to run for deputy when them behave so.
Yeah, yeah, right.
Yes,
It's me, man. Come on.
look like that. Kill them come fi kill me at the place. So me do me little me speech and something and them come and they lash with questions. Naturally me I want talker. So you can't to be honest, you can't and I always say to people, if people can answer questions, don't waste your time asking them questions.
Mm,
Because they go always have an answer for you.
yeah.
But them come and them ask them questions because some people they just naturally want to ask questions. And Tremors, them some so we decided who we gonna answer what. It was a good thing. And then that was when I was talking to you in particular about coming. You did nervous when you applied for the
Mm.
appointed position.
Yeah, because the reason because I never really nervous enough. It's just that I know something me do. Me that do lead me is a solo man and me didn't know what's the post me are going. And one of the word is one of the most and the average man no want comments. Oh, someone come and be DAC. Somebody didn't know me I get myself into.
Hmm.
It's, so I just tell back and say, oh, it look like say oh, nobody not run feet. 'Cause- and that's why I say I'm gonna chip email because my feet say nobody not run feet. I'm coming for a day. I see how another brother, not even there, not even the day I committee, just coming for Olympia say oh India. So I say, so I said, all right, I said, I want to say, oh, Z, you want to run? You want, oh, so we can just go back away. And I said, no, no, no.
No, we have to do it, man.
Yeah,
Because you did, as in, I mean, I look on it and I mean, I say, boy, come on, so we did the on the committee together with Boxer.
yeah,
Because we did
yeah,
work,
come and
we
say,
work
oh,
for the year, because I didn't mean I didn't in deputy.
yeah, they see are the one of the worst thing me ever do.
Rough,
I
man,
say for the
easy.
first day French kiss them, but French is coming and say, yo, Colin, not flap out the thing, man. All the other just moves on this and chair. I say, oh, oh, see, it does sound, it does sound like that.
Until you reach our level. It's
Isn't
rough,
it?
man. Because you
Bro,
are always the first and always the
yeah,
last person for every
yeah, man.
event.
Mm.
And well, when they come in an interview, me I say, me sit down there and me I say, me can't wicked, because you look like, if me answer any question, you just go, just frat up right in front of me, just
Yes,
as I
man.
mean, I say, boy, and people are look for me as the one for ask the rough question, them.
Yeah,
And
so
naturally,
after some time we get used to it, I say, what the hell, man, do for?
when we ask the question them still, and you answered them because it's not like you know of the answers yet because you've been a
No,
part of the committee. You know of to do
yeah,
it.
the reason the first question they threw me off, because I never want and then one of the questions they really did expect, I did one of the questions they really ask something personal, and I say, oh, why? I say, oh, see.
Yeah.
And it's if at the time point when they realize, oh, I never really do it for no specific reason, I'm just throwing my heart if so bad, I just say, oh
Mm-hmm.
shit, I'm gonna actually make up something. It's me, so.
Because yeah, that's a true. That's a true.
Yeah, I find this after we pass out the first part, then there's just start ask on DAC thing. We just say, oh, alright, let's smash up this, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
But
That's a true. Because it was you and Lamar sitting there did come from I night together.
yeah,
Lamar swear never did go get it. Me I tell her Lamar nervous until if Lamar could have
mm-hmm.
tear off in close without him nervous him there. They
Yeah,
tell
man.
you, but
And the boss did cocky before them, man. The boss sound hype before them because when the man tell me say, oh, when the man come out and tell me say, boy, I don't say it look like something I get it. And when I say, oh, boy, you know what I'm saying? I just want to post that because I mean, not so serious. You know what
But
I
me
mean?
know he did
Eventually,
really want it, and so me never did. In the interview, I wasn't really looking at because nobody the perfect interview. Anybody can come in here and put on a show. But me I look for have I seen you do and the potential for grow because at the end of the day, some of these perfect candidates in the interview can end up be some of the worst committee members. And we
mm-hmm.
didn't know from people like you and Lamar certain me gonna depend on for the rest of the year. But look at it though, when I look on it, Lamar did end up being alone GCC after a while. You
Mm-hmm.
see? So simple things
Yeah.
like that we have to look on. We can't just always just look on perfection or what people consider perfection. And
Yeah,
do nothing. And you had a great team. And when they stress you out a masquerade,
yeah, man, it was
boy,
a mess. It was a mess, man. Every say, yo, every other committee department, dog. You see me? Cause me one dog there, that I say, yo, I do funny thing, and them, you know, CAC department hard, and I say, yo, Draco, we a team them. I'm saying, that's chill, dog. And I do feel nothing. You see me? You know what I'm saying? Yo, you see me coming from my say, yo,
mhm.
dog. Yo, and you know, make it worse. So, me element, you know, me not set up. Me can go there and when me the on the box roll, me just come there and put out chair and me a follow in lead. But no, be the leader, me responsible for it.
How the event look.
You see me look and say, dog, me not do this. You see me and the man look and say, Drake, and I do so I'm saying, dog, it was a mess. But for we get over that event, me just look and say, oh, thank
Yeah, it
God,
was
I
good,
just
man. It
thank
was
God,
good.
thank God.
Because me know upon the day in particular, me a bounty did have one exam I do. And we did have to decide who go sit the exam first. So me go up there and get one 90%, and him go up there go get one same 90%. So it was a good day. And sitting and I think we did end up work with a team with the putting up a cloud for apartheid
Yeah,
and then
man.
just finish
Yeah,
off
you
the rest.
can you they can't show me what we do because me they know they back up put up there. You see
Yeah.
me? Yeah, you see me?
But
So
it
man.
was pretty much a top tier. Without the traditional features of masquerade, it was a great masquerade. Me nah lie still. It
Yeah,
did
man.
act. It did act. But
Yeah, man.
it was a good year being it was an interesting year. Of course we get a few resignation, but I feel like we did the best we could. We get in enough trouble here and there,
Yeah.
but it was overall a good year. Boy, it just run out fast still, but it was a good year overall.
You run out fast here, but every day when me have an event, me have to wake up and say, Jesus Christ, man, it's another one. It's another one. You see me? I
Why?
know it.
Mhm.
Yeah. So the next question is, how was that year? You became hall chairman, balancing hall committee and school life. And the next question I can join in up to so. And then what were some goals you had for the committee and how was the process of executing them and what was the end result?
That year for me, balancing was quite an adjustment because I have never been. I've been a part of guild committees, but I've never been on the council. So it was a whole different thing representing Preston at the guild level, and then having to deal with the internal thing of because I know Odeon did have med school, so some of the times I had to step in and do certain things, and try to support him as best as possible, and then deal with my committee affairs, and then I think I eventually I had to absorb some portfolio where it end up become vacant. Like because I think somebody did go overseas. Chevane did leave
Yeah.
after. So I had
Yeah.
there's certain portfolios that I had to absorb. So I end up I juggle multiple portfolios. Plus school, me did a second year in a society at that time in econ and stats.
Yeah.
And first semester and second year did box me properly. Box me. I mean I said no. Can't make the program here box me son. And so may end up find the footing in the second semester because there were a lot of things that were just happening. I mean, I feel adjust every single time. Everything was just so unplanned. And then
Yeah.
Panny Hall, and we had as deputy responsible for maintenance and washroom and all them little thing there. Work with the officer, man. Them little something. So I feel create like opportunities until when everything now reach a point where it we can manage it now when everything it was present and all it just take it as maintenance, it
Yeah.
became easier for me. But me now lie still, it was a rough year because I know that some people were expecting me to even go back for hall chair, go run for hall chair after the right of a deputy. And I was considering it in me and say, it only fitting after me do so much already, me just finish off my Preston life with hall chair. But Bounty did want go for it and Johnny did say them she want go for it too. And
Yeah.
I felt as if because of how popular we were, if we ran against each other, it wouldn't do so well for the hall because I've seen what two popular people when them are run it people get so invested in these political races. I mean, it's just a race, people. It's not, you have to take it so serious and them hate people because I them create enemies and them something here. And because Monty was CSC and because I was deputy hall chair, I could foresee that becoming something. Um, so me say, all right,
I especially the night when they can, use on dividing question, for start
yes,
differentiate.
yes.
Yeah.
And me know Bounty can talk, and me know me can talk. Um, and I never wanted that sort of comparative thing because we were two different personalities. Bounty was seen as a vibes master. I was seen as a rigid, a bit more rigid and all them sort of things there. Somebody with more structured than
Yeah.
Bounty. And with two different perspectives, but Bounty ended up becoming a great hall chair. We can't take that from him. A great hall chair. And we end up serve on the council together because that same year I got appointed as guild librarian and went on the guild executive. The
Yeah.
only person which was good because right after Jeremy Jeremy would have finished as vice president, then I would have you know taken over, and I was the lone executive member for the hall for until Brianna came on in 2021. That's all?
Yeah.
No,
Well,
2020 as
well,
secretary. So I
yeah.
was the lone one until then. So it was stressing me. I tell you, easy, never easy. But in terms of some of the objective, some of the things I had laid out for you, I personally, if I realize how me did invested in our portfolios, like me just rush, me just step in whenever I have any problems, because I wanted for everybody to learn how to be a good student leader and student, because school is always important to me. um I wanted some good crisis manager because after a while I realized that a peer crisis we whole committee deal with. So I wanted us to be calm in face of crisis and just tackle it, which over time some people got.
Yeah.
And two, I wanted the team to work as good as possible. What I ended up realizing was it became cliquey. So I had one group and then one next group. But if initially it seemed to have separated the whole committee, but over time the teams worked together. Over time it worked together, and we did some amazing things. It's
Yeah.
just sad that we just
I
ended
guess,
so abruptly, but it
I
was a
guess,
good year.
yeah, I guess to me, may say the team did us. We were good individually, We're good at
Yeah,
we're good at our jobs. The team part was a different thing.
yeah, it was a whole different thing, and we did some strong personalities we did
Yeah,
have in the
yeah,
group there.
yeah. So, well, I guess I foreshadow the next question, but so after you apply, after the deputy arch chairman, you applied and became the guild librarian. Why did you
Yeah.
choose to become that specific post on the guild?
It's very much similar to being a deputy hall chair now. The personality it takes to be a guild librarian is very similar to what it takes to be a deputy hall chair. And that's why even after me, you saw a lot of deputies going for guild librarian. Because the deputy of a hall is normally seen as somebody who has to be structured and black and white and all those sort of formal. That's our formal person. And that's what it takes to be guild librarian. You have to be very, very structured and organized because it come like a 124-hour role, like in a rest. If you do it
Yeah,
properly, that is. And so I decided that I'm going to go for something that I can contribute and it's very aligned with who I am.
yeah,
And so when me submit me a 16-page proposal in a PDF to them to the for the position. And we now realize still the politics was there. The politics did up there because when you go up executive, you go
yeah,
against halls that have enough people on it like Chancellor and Taylor. And it was a miracle of God. When them say what for you can't and for you. And
yeah.
me I tell them, me I must have got it because the politics was there. The politics was not in my favor. It was in the favor of a chancellor, right? But it so happened that God said no.
Yeah.
and it went right to me, and I became the librarian. And it's not something that I have said, but I have heard that the portfolio was revived, um, to what it, and given the face, because I wanted to add a face to it. And since then, the portfolio has had people have people at that time knew who the librarian was, because it wasn't
Yeah.
an in-house position anymore. Because me not really natural enough, so me just stay everywhere,
Yeah.
and I became the library Sevaughn, the librarian who was everywhere. And that's how I feel like you're supposed to feel, if you're part of a group, as a council, as a hall committee member, you're supposed to feel responsible for everything that the committee does.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that made it end up doing. And then I did it the second year, with Chevron as president. That was also another rough one, because I almost never get it again because of politics. Um, but like I said, well, fear can't unfear. And then I finished off my time as vice president of the guild, the second vice president of the guild, in 2020. That was the year Brianna joined the executive.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Alright, so okay, what is the guild librarian? What role does the guild librarian have, and how was executing your role as the guild librarian while balancing your school life as well?
Interestingly, being on the guild executive was some of my best academic years at the university. Best, me I tell you, best, 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 best. When I talk about A plus A's, all them little things there,
Yeah.
tutoring, all everything, it was much my best years. Uh, the guild librarian, I don't know if you know what a chief of staff is for a president? You ever hear the
No.
term?
No.
In
Go
a
ahead.
White House, so the chief of staff is somebody who runs, it's pretty much like a personal assistant for the president, but he's not a personal assistant. So he handles the affair of the White House. Um, and so the guild librarian handles the affair of the president and the guild. And also, yeah, but you have your unique responsibilities like archiving, you plan the guild retreat, you oversee the orientation process for the guild, and you work with the guild advisor to do leadership, development, and why political things. I sit on enough committee. Well, in my time I ended up making the portfolio sit on enough committee. So you sit on other important committees at the guild as a
Yeah.
recording person, and you check out action items. So it's a full on, and you protect the guild from itself. That's an important aspect of it. So you have to interact. You also oversee the evaluation of the guild. So when I look on it, it's a lot of responsibilities. Require if you pay attention to so many things, people lifestyle, people portfolio, enough things. So it was a lot of work, very, very tedious. And so that's why I think, because I was always busy, I had to find a way to put the school in it. And I
Yeah.
always find out once we have like a period for waste, that's when I'm in a trouble. But the guild librarian kept me very preoccupied, so I never had any opportunity to waste time. So that they work out for me. And then we
Yeah.
move into masters right after that.
So I know. So the next question is, I know you're still at UE, right?
Yeah, yeah,
No.
yeah.
So
Finishing off
for
next.
my for my third year since I've left until now, what have you been up to? So I know my third
Wait,
year you were the guild librarian. So from there,
which year that? Which year that?
I left
Which
in
year that?
2018. Left 2018.
19.
Yeah.
So long ago that, man. So in 2018, 19, I was the guild librarian returning. 2019, 20, I was the vice president of the guild. And then in 2020, 2021 was when I started off being guild advisor to the guild council. So I'm now
Oh,
what people call an RA, but it's not an RA. It's called guild advisor because it's for the guild.
yeah.
And I also became third vice president of UE Alumni Association. That was the last academic year. So we're just finishing that. I finished that tenure. And now I got re-elected as second vice president at UEAA. And I'm also the returning officer for the Jamaican Union of Tertiary Students.
Yeah.
So I recently got that appointment.
Which the
So
leader is Christina Williams or something like that.
yes, yes, yeah. Christina is the president of that
Yeah, I know. So we there
organization.
try get her on to but she
Yeah, Christina is a
seem
very, very
seem
busy,
busy.
busy woman.
Yeah, for the first time I meet her, I know funny enough, she meet me and not the other way around, which is
Oh,
uncharacteristic, so it was a
Christina is a
weird.
very, very interesting personality. Because even when the first time I met her, we started off very, very nicely, and then in the middle we had a bit of a rocky period. Like, it was a very
Mm,
short period, and then to this date, I think we have grown a lot, and we have a lot of respect for each other and the work and our commitment to students. So I'm very, very, very excited to. I'm very excited to work with her again because she was the president when I was vice president. So I'm very excited to work with her again as a member of our executive again.
mm,
So can't wait to see what is about to unfold.
so that's quite. What is some notable achievements and accolades you have earned over the years?
um, naturally in Preston you get enough awards.
Yeah,
Um, so naturally by being a part of certain committees you get awards, but one of my favorite awards from Preston, I can say, is the one that I received the Debbie Bissoon Award for Shark Radio, which is now Preston Media. That was one of my most prized award because I never thought that I'd be able to do this radio thing. And
yeah,
Debbie Bissoon is one of my favorite media personalities. Me and Debbie Bissoon talk well, and to receive an award named after her, I was
yeah,
very, very pleased. Being a part of the Guild Council, my most prized award, I must say, was when I got Executive Member of the Year.
yeah,
And that was when I was librarian. I mean, I tell you, the reason it was so important to me was because the portfolio has always been, by virtue of sometimes the portfolio holder, it's just always there. It has never been something in the forefront and seen to a point where it can become an executive portfolio of the year. And to have
yeah,
received that, may I tell you, it felt good because that means I've been putting enough work and deserved it. And it was great. And the service above self and all those outstanding awards have always been good, but that one in particular was one that stood out to me as a counselor. But and naturally you get an award from other places, but that one was good. But at the university,
yeah.
but those are the awards at the university I'm proud of.
All right, so what is your goal UA wise? Because I know you mentioned once that you wanted to be a lecturer, so I'm just wondering if if that is still a goal, or if not, what is the goal now?
Yeah, I want to. I'm thinking about it. It's not something I'm fixated on in terms of lecturing, but I know for sure I want to be a part of the senior management of UE, either as a principal, a deputy principal, or as the campus registrar. Or if they, if them feel compassionate, I won't mind being like a vice chancellor or the university registrar. But that's my goal. I want to be in the senior management of the university or the campus management because when you have a calling, you just feel like that is it.
Yeah,
And they say there, like, we go feel incomplete. But within the university space, that's where I want myself. I would love to start as like a manager of a hall, though. A manager of a hall or one of the spaces, and learn and get an opportunity to practice before moving up. So that's what I want. But my ultimate goal outside is maybe them to become like a permanent secretary in a ministry or a senator of some sort of with focus on education.
yeah.
So yeah, workforce development in particular. I'm not saying education, but workforce development. So that's what I want to look on.
All right. So, what skills have you developed, and where are they applicable outside of UE?
Woo, enough. What are things we do? I have developed a lot of technical skills. in terms of like social media management, project management, uh, the marketing and data analytics. I've developed a lot of those things. Um, so those are some of the technical skills I think I have developed. Even basic things like record management, inventory management, I have as a result of being on even committees and getting opportunities to work here and there. So the core, all them little something there, it has been something great because you can easily incorporate these things into um, some of the records unit at places, just general social media or marketing of events, the look and feel of things.
Yeah.
Outside of that, though, the school has helped me in terms of like different software learning, uh, and leadership wise has helped me with public speaking, creative leadership and development of program development has been a major thing. So many of these things that I'm learning or
Yeah.
have learned are things that I'm using in my job now. So I can easily do a lot of things
Yeah.
in the work
All right.
easily. Yeah.
So, what tips you have for students entering UE?
Why don't take yourself too seriously? You have to understand. Well, one thing is you are coming in a space where everybody starts at the GPA of 0.00. Everybody. So no matter if you came here as a deputy head boy, deputy head girl, student council president, scholarship, whatever, everybody is starting at 0.00. And I think that is what the orientation process tries to get at us, that we're coming in relatively the same and your canvas, a blank canvas. And so you now have to create your own story, what your picture looks like. And I think some of us come in too a bit too rigid, as in yeah, you need to be focused on your goals and whatever. But you're coming into a space that you have never been in. So
Yeah.
you're going to realize that you go unlearn and you go relearn and you go learn some new things. And you have to be open to some of these things as a first year student. Don't take
Yeah.
yourself too serious. Embrace the process. Listen to some of your seniors, them. The one them make sense. Listen to them because them not telling them not go tell them what them not go through. Most of them something where they go through are true. But know who
Yeah.
you're listening to and listen to the ones that make sense. And take the lessons. Sometimes them not tell if you cramp your style, they're telling you to prevent you from making the same mistakes. Listen. Um, and try to create a good network while you're there. Because some of them people are people that may go help you out after you come out of university. That's how many people get jobs as a result of a friend I tell us say, oh, they want opportunity over here, so create healthy network. Though the network's supposed to be comprised of people who inspire you, push you to do more, be more. If
Yeah.
you can achieve success and enjoy life with them, then really and truly they might waste of time. Really, really waste of time. You're supposed to can grow with your friend and enjoy life with them. It's supposed to be challenging you. Don't make you do no foolishness. All them little things there. Make your friends them create a network that is useful to you and you are useful to them too. So they can grow and enjoy life together. Because very soon they go old, and I think nobody really and truly wants to sit down and don't enjoy them life just like that.
Let
So
up work
that's
on
it.
your
And,
life and say,
and by the
boy.
time you quint the 3 years pass or 5 years pass, people don't understand how
Yeah.
fast 3 years move.
Yeah, cause funny too. And the fact that when I start this podcast and I talk about some things when we do a year, when I say, boy, I gonna want the things we do, when me use that, and before then, my goal was this side, cause before me is ever anti-social to myself personally. So me never too this going to do stuff, Just through it's part of the process, man say I have to do something, so I just go on.
Hmm.
It's a bit so so I just bug at that, when we say, oh, I have to do this now, so just to stay that and there's some because we all say you have to participate in that stuff we get in. And
Get back room. Yeah.
one of the reasons we dig up on join the DAC was to get a single room, which me never.
Me know.
Yeah, but the thing, oh, I like this stay with it grim because you know, so the good amount of third year I come back. So the
Yeah.
single room I did full up. So I mean that's why me and Lamar just say, I'm just second in my room. So are they little thing they we just come together alpha so you come in say I do a degree alpha so you do a bag of other things outside degree. I say, oh shit, yeah man. Come here, yeah, almost yeah, take what Preston give Preston 1 point a year track field. I say, oh god. that year that year we got road for Preston to Arkansas and became we said man the only one. We give them a point. And that's when we become MVP though. I mean when I reach finals, I said, Jesus Christ man, it's a mess. It's a mess,
And
So
the process fun, The process really fun because if you have a look on it, you yeah. Boy, many people understand how much you gain from just simply just doing one thing. Because look,
mhm.
Pani, at DSC, are the one thing you do, One little thing, and you end up going on DSC committee till you end up become DSC, you turn orientation committee member, this member, all these little things.
Yeah,
And
man.
the things we not even did imagine you gonna end up and do. You
Yeah,
get
and
me?
my team is so shell that already in the with team I get requests everywhere because like I saw after me done I come back third year I threw me up on the DAC make when him way or at the time but they are run Preston Media become him
Oh, Alpha?
yeah and call me and say say me want to come on the bring in the Preston Media thing and then tell them just ready for just chilling in every single room do a single woman to do. But he said no. He said no.
Oh.
He said what we he was a what company thing. I said, oh god. I said, all right. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, but
Was a great mentor and
mm-hmm.
Preston. And him know if he find, but him, me know him do it. Best when him say, do this, me strongly recommend people do it because him have a way for finding potential, me I tell you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
And look
man.
at you
So
now doing a podcast. Imagine, eh?
yeah, man. It's something we can't, but when I broke, and I don't.
You always broke. For your day Preston, you always broke.
Yeah, but
But
like
your belly always full, eh? Broke our belly
every
always full. Me not understand.
God provides, God provides, what we say. So man,
Drama.
I'm broke, if I'm broke, man, broken at you. For more, can't for that way, that day, so I'm just hold that $1 million in my hand. I say, yeah, finally, finally, every
Me
time,
finally, sir.
so
Repeat that.
man, this month, me touch 8 grand in my hand, 80 grand, and it does go to 1 billion. I say, Rocket Judge, 1 billion.
Mercy.
And we said, no, brother. Like, forget hard, But,
Yeah, man.
I sign a progress, So, I got a sign to say, say, one day, gonna hold
Mm-hmm.
$1 billion in your hand. Yeah, man. Yeah, so,
But you can't make the $1 million be the only money you have, You have to go for
no,
the
man,
money because
no.
that go just disappear like that.
Yeah, man, we know, man. But,
But at the other day, Mr. Look at it and said that you know how much most of Jamaica now work over $150,000.
yeah, that's why I say one good thing about UIT too, what people don't underrate it, is the hard lifestyle it really teach you how to live
Oh
rough.
yes, it
It,
teach you
it teach,
enough,
yeah, it teach you how to live rough,
enough, man.
and there's going to be a. But the only thing is that you for what you pay, it don't have it's still bad at transferring people out of UE. Once you come out of UE, you just basically one of the many unemployed people who come out and just can go through the depressive state and they try, look at job and stuff like that. So you
Mm-hmm.
they still have that
Because
to
I
start
think I
up.
think it's the one thing we're missing from the residential programs. Them are teach you, them are help you with coming into university and helping you through the getting through the academic process, and them are help you with the professional resume. But them not tell about what it go take to survive out in the world.
Yeah, cause
Nobody not tell us say sometime you have to go burn your belly and all them little something there. You have to go back to your yard, go sit down for months before you can get something. Now,
yeah.
what do you do in those
And
periods?
then
Them
not
not
only
tell you
that,
them something.
in our tell people say, oh, more when they have got to take up a job just to take up a job sake, you know. Yeah, some people come out,
Temporary.
cause like me, they come out with the pride and say, oh, boom, I buy a chemist. Or at least when in them. It's cause you know, me never I know in fact say me never really have no name want to take up a call center work, but I didn't know for the start here. Me don't like me talk this podcast thing at the first me talk so much, if you get me. But before then if we go a job and talk, you know, that thing was for good, you know. But when we come out and realize, Jamaica job market is really small in that at basically a large group are certain. You have tourism, hotel work, and all that stuff there, and call center work. Majority of that are just them the two. When they come out and realize, damn, bro, you realize it's a small pool. And then you have like bank people and them stuff there. But Jamaica is not really a large pool of varying
Yeah.
of varying um what you call it job. And you have to just come out, know that in mind if you know how you're gonna place yourself outside when you come out, you know?
Yeah, man. The pay scale rough, man. When me I look on it, a little bit,
Yeah.
man. A little bit of people have pay above 115. A little bit of people.
Yeah, and then not only that, after them do it, when them a live, because them a get that there in a Kingston, I know so them pay tax and high cost of living. So then, me actually say Kingston people lifestyle or them a live is very poor compared to how me a live. And the reason is because of how it's a city, you know, the city lifestyle and stuff like that. So it's a very well more opportunity there and lifestyle very
Yeah. The money disappear
poor.
faster as a
Yeah.
result of that. Yeah.
And people don't realize, our people don't take that into account. And that's one of the reason why me this I say me I try stay over here and at least get this podcast or something up for at least get me they want to reach back Kingston with certain more money for myself. We can't just go there and win it because you know I would waste of time. Waste of time.
Yeah. There's something to consider too in terms of leaving Kingston and going back to Mobi. Because I know for sure that, especially because of the school where you come from and the space I'm naturally in, maybe finding an opportunity now gonna be so hard for somebody like me. But then me I look on it and then what exactly what me want for myself. If going back to Mobi gonna make me get what me want. So that me sit down here the thing. So
Yeah.
and me just down here the tough it out for now, cause school and everything. But we
No.
still make the decision as to whether or not we return to the west or stay down there. But as it stands, there's a possibility we might end up there, Kingston, because things are slowly start falling place. So by October, November, I'm supposed to be,
Yeah.
financially we call it, finan- in a good position financially. We can say that.
Yeah. All right. So the last question is, do you like Yui? And what do you like about Yui? What don't you like about Yui? And what would you change about Yui?
I do like Yui, strangely. I can't necessarily blame Yui the institution. I'll blame Yui the management. The issue I have with UE is that there is politics over practicality. And maybe they say practicality in the politics, but I think they them put too much self in the process to the point where it compromises the prospect of the university. I mean, I'm speaking from a higher educational standpoint. Um, and at the end of the day, the students end up suffering because they're making decisions that they think they benefit the institution, but it continues to make the financial health and the educational process worse for students. And because of that, now them push the financial burden upon students and create all these unrealistic expectations. Right? They have all these objectives for the institution through their strategic plan, but at the end of the day, They can't achieve it because their very actions are counterproductive.
Yeah.
I mean, I say, make no sense. If you want an outcome, you have to put things in place to achieve the outcome. But your very people are affecting the process. So that is the issue I have with it. The people who are part of the process, especially the people who are higher up or make the decisions, are working against the very progress of the institution. That is what I have. Um, I don't think right now, what I also have an issue with is I don't think they can support the quantity of students that they do have, which is why I find it strange that they continue to increase the population over and over. I think they're behaving like you ever see like them poor household there where there's continue like family tend to have more and more pitney
Yeah. And they
because you know
can't
that the more
afford
and more
it.
pitney you have, the more welfare support you get, right?
Yeah.
So that is what I think the university is using the poor people household mechanism of increasing the sum, thinking that the more students you get is the likelihood of them covering the money. But then are you profiling the students that you're getting into this university? You have to getting people who can pay them school fee in
Yeah,
order
because
for you in
the
order for it
more
work for you.
the more them are coming and the more they just are coming with student loan. So basically it's a
Exactly.
so the
That is
government
what
and the government are paying the government.
adapt me sit down and me say the university now see what them a do. You have to if you go increase population for the work for you, strategically do it. Because
Yeah.
that go end up make your financial situation worse.
Yeah. And they just like what they just do, increase tuition like so bro. At some point
And
they, at some
it
point
now
you have
make
to
no
look at
sense.
yeah, no, and the more I like, there's two things I can do. I can maybe increase the cost and maybe cut down. I solve some underlying, get rid of some underlying thing for at least make a profit. But they not change nothing. There's a bringing more people same way and just a
But they
increase.
but they have they're thinking of using this new model, funding model, or this new management model, and modifying the funding model to put more burden upon the student. Firstly, if the student population as it stands cannot afford the school fee, how can increasing it by double the amount make them pay for it? You have to go reduce the population.
Yeah, you
You
have
they
some
will
problem.
then go then go legitimately reduce this population whether they want to or not because most of the people in the country cannot afford higher education. It is viewed as a privilege, you know.
Yeah. And it's that privilege where it don't work out. It don't really work out
Hmm.
that well. You see me? That's everything kind of like first problem to solve. If we make it actually work out in the real world, I'm tell you that will solve itself. Because
Yeah.
if you can get the people who are come out now, you actually can become business people where make opportunity for the next one will come out. It does solve itself over time, but man, no, they just
But it messes still because if one want for university to do is find a way to make it's like when I say alright, may have two children. I mean no say if me you know if you do economics, but you see if you put on one more person upon the household, it go be diminishing. So I'm not gonna necessarily get no productivity. I'm not gonna spend wisely with the third child. So so
yeah.
you're pushing the boundary right there so with a third child, right?
Yeah,
The university not even know. I don't think the university knows how many students it can ideally manage at this point in time.
yeah,
Which means it's a reduction in population that it needs to do. But at the end of the day, that will cut out enough people from higher education. But when you look on it realistically, there are so many people graduating to the point where the country can support the employment, and then that end up happening to like to pair you with your biochem. You're supposed to be going to one job that you studied for.
yeah. But then really, and then not only that, what I realize is that the job itself, like biochemistry, is one of the things that is it's good if you are working in it, but ideally, a country should not. It's not one of the places where you're supposed to every day need a biochemist. It's like one of the things that like a country must look upon itself if every day they need a forensic scientist, because that means every day a man a dead or something like that. I want to think you have to say, you know, but but I want to it's like it's good to the reason I do about science is because it never make no to me the money never worth it for me going as go do business at you. You know, I pay 200 grand for learn business and if I learn science we can come out same way and just learn business, you know. But in a real world that they kind of complex same way because you know the real world is kind of different. But what I realize is that not even the people them, the alumni people will come out of UE and become success and become business person or working or something can come back and tell the actual people at UE what they have to do. You know, cause it's like them luckily get to where they are. If I get what I mean. If I get
Mm-hmm.
yeah, so it's like them come back and the matter say, oh, you need to do this and that. But in a reality, I lucky them lucky when they get it. So, you know, it's a really sad situation. You know.
Rough still. But me did end up though econ and stats because it there's certain things you can't go to and learn really and truly, and there's certain things where you go take a degree if you get. That's a reality.
Mm,
So we did
yeah,
end up of it do it.
yeah, man.
But in terms of that though, as I said, there are certain things that we can't take with the fact that by virtue of going to UE, you have some level of prestige.
Yeah.
Um and
Mm.
the space itself it have some really, really great people who can assist, and it has its own way of presenting good opportunities to people.
I feel,
So
I think our happen is that a modern time. I know you itself directly, it was back in the days, you know, getting the degree was the right thing, you know, because it was like one of them, you know, we call it scarcity item where when I have it, they say, oh, you know, so there's someone more than this one, you know, so it was a very important one, but all of a sudden, modern time, it becomes everybody kind of have it, you know. And then the people who have it before never they create the space to manage the amount where come out with it, so it just become like depleted over time, you know. So and then so that we face that does that happen and reach a point where it can go back, but if it's like one of the things that if I can't acknowledge the problem, I can't really solve it, you know. So no man now gonna say I this is the problem and nobody not gonna
yeah, because when higher education was created, it was used to get people in certain areas. So it was used as a solution for a problem because they needed teachers, they needed these people. But
mm,
now them now regulate it, as you say, in such a way that the people who are coming out are meeting the demand of society or the
yeah.
future of the society. So, and I say it goes, so you have things where you know need you have like 50, 100, or 50 people that graduate from certain programs that don't need to be graduating from certain programs because there's not a demand for it.
Yeah, and then not where that the people who are graduate, you know, the economic success of life now get we need it. So, cause like right now, majority of the people, they should at least come out before 1 year before me, at least. Should have things like house, car, you know, and stuff like that. Then barely have one of them, you know, they
Mm.
right now, they just a focus on getting out of debt, you know, so you realize something might go wrong. You get what I mean? So the people them want come out, they now move forward. They just try dig come back out our then put themselves in a debt. Majority are come in with debt and come out with debt. So then just it's like them like when I start back from negative and you try to go back to zero to start your life.
Mhm.
Yeah, I'm not gonna go on now, you know. You get what I mean? So it's a very complex thing, man. So you know, that was the last question, you know. So, you can say it was a pleasure to having you on to the Reframing Mindset podcast. You can take this time to tell the audience where they can reach you or request if and what service or things that you may have that they may interest if they're interested in. They can say, I'll reach
Um,
out to stuff.
Why? Because so like a businessman, but I don't think I reached the point of monetizing or from as in terms of my skill sets. But as it stands now, the most that I'm doing is I'm helping with student leadership in terms of the leadership development, just different areas. Um, but in terms of reaching me, can always be reached on the social media platforms, uh, primarily on Instagram, that's Sevaughn.McIntosh, and on Twitter, if so be. I wonder if I changed it, but I think it's Yui Golden Boy underscore Golden Boy. That's what it is. So
All
that's where
right.
it's at now.
All right. So, thank you for coming on, It was a great talk, in a long, long time.
Been a while, yes.
Mhm. All right. Thank you. All right. And you too.
Alright. Yeah, man.
Well, this is the end of the episode. Thanks for watching and look forward for the next episode. To support this podcast, go to anchor.fm/cssb/support or become a sponsor for this episode. If you have a product that you want to have more exposure, DM me on the Instagram page, Reframing Mindset Podcast, or on Twitter at ReframingP. Either way would help. Thank you regardless for listening, and here's a preview for the next episode.
All right.
Mhm.
So, all right. So, we ended up at Compre the same year. We were never in the same class, so ever. 'Cause I was in 7R, I was in 7M. And those times, I was a nerd just focusing, trying to make it out of Compre, But you were more so you were more acclimated to the environment as you ended up joining the cadet, becoming head boy, etc. So tell us about your Compre experience, from the freshman of grade 7 to the veteran of grade 30.
I really don't remember much about Cumbria because most of the recollections of Herbert Mars is really through stories being told by my friends. But from what I can really remember, it was really just, as you said, adapting to the